What's up, fragrance family? It's Neb with Aromatics and, of course, Snickers. And today we've got a full review for a Lattafa fragrance that comes from their Pride line, and it's known as Nebras. If you're interested in finding out, you know what to do. Don't go anywhere. I want to start off by saying that Lattafa'S just been absolutely killing the game. We've got so many nice looking fragrances from the new Pride line and amazing smelling fragrances. I already did the full review on Lattafa'S Eternal Oud, and there's a couple other ones that really captured my attention, and I'm sure a lot of your attention as well. I know they have a lot of new fragrance releases and everybody's been hyping them up and all that stuff. This is also one of the ones that has been hyped up and deserves the dang hype. This is something that kind of got my attention after Lattafa'S Khamra. I think that Khamra was one of the ones that really was just like, holy smokes. Today, though, we're going to be talking about Nebras. So Nebras is a fantastic looking presentation. We've got a lot of niche style presentations here. You guys make sure that you have this Lattafa authenticity seal. I purchased mine from tripletraders.com. If you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And I've also got a custom coupon code for tripletraders.com. Awesome customer service, super fast shipping, 100% authentic, legit. Many more fragrances to come to his store. They sell fragrances, bakhur, oud, incense, a lot of Middle Eastern products. And this is where I picked mine up. Unbeatable prices. I'm sorry, it is really unbeatable, even to those that other sites that I have linked down below. Now, the thing with Nebras, let's get back to the presentation. The box is a nice cardboard that's wrapped in a faux leather. And then inside we have this super niched out presentation, velvet foam on the inside with the cutouts. Pull out the fragrance and you get this. This is a nice matte black finish, and it's pretty much black all around except for this one side where you see Nebras. Nebras Lattafa Pride. On the bottom we have our standard sticker. This is 100 ml. This looks like a sun with rays around it. And on the top we have the Lattafa cap. The one thing I will say about this cap is it's super on there. So if you're one to pick it up by the cap, this ain't going nowhere. But I think that, no, twisting it doesn't really make much of a difference. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put the notes up here on the screen and kind of just talk about the notes real quick. So we see at the top, we get the berries and the mandarin orange, and that's important for this fragrance because it does shine around that. In the mid, we have the vanilla, cacao, and rose. Ace, we got the tonka bean, amber, musk, and sugar. So this I actually covered in my live, and I summed it up to something that we'll get to in a moment. But first, we're going to start off with how many sprays I recommend for Nebras. This is a rather strong one, so let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's enough. So with 10 sprays, you're going to be noticed. No sissy spraying over here. I'm sorry. 3, 4 sprays. You know what? If you're going to the office, I would recommend maybe doing 6 sprays of this, but nothing less than 5. For sure, nothing less than 5. If you want to be smelled or noticed and you're purchasing these fragrances and you're spraying them 3 to 2 times, that's not going to get you noticed whatsoever. Now, if we're talking about other fragrances like Argos fragrances or something that's like an extrait de parfum or something like maybe House of Sillage, then yes, we can talk about doing 5 sprays, but I've never sprayed anything under 5 sprays unless it's something absolutely polarizing like maybe Interlude Black Iris. So with that out of the way, let me tell you guys what I get right off of the opening. So definitely at the beginning, I can get a lot of sugar, a lot of vanilla, a lot of cacao, and the mandarin orange along with some berries. Now let me explain a little bit what I get exactly. So it's almost like you're smelling like a blood orange, right? So it's, just think of a red orange. That's the best way that I can really narrow the opening down. A red orange, so you've got a little bit of hints of cherry undertones to this orange, and then you've got almost like a vanilla buttercream frosting. Yes, exactly like that. So the sugar, vanilla, and cacao, the cacao doesn't really pop with too much chocolate. It's more like a cocoa powder, but you definitely pick up that vanilla and sugar. It's a white sugar, so all of these notes in tandem really give me this vanilla frosting buttercream note. So do I think this is unisex? Absolutely. You saw I'm about to rock it. I love it, and this is very, very strong. So hype worthy, performance worthy. So far, it seems like this is going to be a pumper. So this is going to pump off of my skin very easily. As of right now, I don't really pick up too much rose. So if you're worried about the rose note, it's not really there. It's kind of just there, giving maybe like a a single rose petal note to the entire fragrance. So it is there. This, on the scale of feminine to masculine, I have to say it's slightly towards the feminine side. Maybe if we're putting, 10 male, or let's do it the other way, female 10 and male 0, or whatever you want to call it. I think it's leaning towards the feminine side by probably 2 points or 1.5 points. So take that as you will. And I have no reason for putting female or male in any side. So we did both, all right? Cool. No sexism here. So basically, right now, like I said, guys, I'm getting a lot of a vanilla buttercream frosting vibe with that red orange. That's the best way I can describe it right now. A little bit of cocoa dust, but that's it. So I'm going to check back in with you guys in a little bit. I got a little road trip to make today, and I'll let you guys know how this performs throughout the day.
All right, so we're at about the 5-hour mark now, and let's see how Nebras is doing. Okay, so the one thing that I will say is that the base sweetness in this fragrance is definitely still there. There's a lot of base sweetness that's coming from the vanilla, tonka bean, and the sugar. The sugar never quite goes away, nor does the cocoa. And I'm actually kind of surprised because I thought that that cocoa note, the powdered cocoa, was only going to live very shortly in this fragrance. The one thing that I will say is that a lot of the fruits in this fragrance, like the orange and those berries, are pretty much gone now, but I'm still getting just a little bit of maybe those red berries. So aside from that slight tint of red berry, this kind of just turned into a more warm and rich type of vanilla sweetness. The buttercream frosting was kind of an airy frosting, but now it's actually gotten denser. So the tonka bean definitely has amplified and kind of give it this a more sticky trait, and the amber has warmed up the fragrance. So a bit warmer now, and basically no more fruits, just more so the sweets. So basic, pretty sweet, and it's still there. It's definitely still there. So for the most part, what I am getting at the 5-hour mark is probably just like a nice scent bubble. It does leave a nice scent trail. I would say maybe 2 to 3 feet at the most. But for the most part, as far as projection, this doesn't really project. I will say that I'm pretty surprised, and I wasn't expecting it to be rather one-dimensional, it seems. It doesn't mean that it's not a good fragrance. It is a very good fragrance. But this is more of a just pretty simple, sweet, cakey type of dessert fragrance. So if you're looking for something with some character and stuff, this isn't really that, but it's perfect for the fall time. This has that nice, sweet, gourmand bakery cookie feeling to it, and it definitely suits the colder weather. I definitely don't suggest that you wear this during the summertime. It will be cloying, and I wore this actually to the gym. That's actually where I just came back from, and it did pretty well. It still wasn't too sickly sweet for the gym time, but nonetheless, it's still there. And it's like 70% strength. So the strength and performance on this one in comparison to a lot of other Middle Eastern fragrances, I say would be above average. So pretty above average as far as the strength for this fragrance when we're talking Middle Eastern realm. But I definitely think that this is pretty simple of a fragrance. It's nothing jaw-dropping, but it is really, really good. And at the price point, I think it's very worth it. And for 5 hours, the fact that I can still smell it this strong, I definitely don't have to dig my nose in. And I could actually smell it from about, a good 8 inches away. So take that for, what you will. And I think at this point, it's pretty solid. 5 hours. I have no doubt in my mind that this will give me 10 plus hours. Maybe, it'll turn into a skin scent at the 10-hour mark. But for right now, solid.
So it's now 9:45, and this is 9 hours and 45 minutes later. At the 8-hour mark, I was getting some nice sniffs here and there. It was still there on my skin. It was not like radiating anything crazy. Maybe about a foot. If somebody comes close, they'll absolutely smell it. I was still getting some wafts of it. Some pretty solid wafts. It wasn't anything crazy projection-wise. I think the projection really went down after at the 3rd hour. But still, for 3 hours of solid projection, that's great. As far as the longevity goes, so we're at 9 hours and 45 minutes. And at the 8-hour mark, I actually showered. And after the shower, it's still there. Now, mind you, it is definitely a skin scent, but it's still there. And mostly what I get at the end is just a base of vanilla, some cacao, and maybe slight hints of that berry still. So rather linear fragrance, but it's still there. 9 hours and 45 minutes. So I have no doubt in my mind, without a shower, this would easily last to the 12-hour mark. Obviously, after hour 3, the projection drops, and then about hour 6, it really becomes like just a nice cloud. So that's as far as the performance goes. So what demographic will this suit? I think that this will really be unisex. I think it'll please women a little bit more than it will men, and there's a reason why I say that. This fragrance plays in the same family as fragrances like pink sugar. Yes, so I know there's another fragrance that I covered. It was called Lattafa'S Khurafi. And yes, I did say it compares a lot to pink sugar, and it does. A lot of people say that this is a dupe for the black sugar, and I think that this is close to pink sugar. Black sugar, it's a little bit more resinous, but either way, for both of those fragrances, this definitely gets close. And it performs pretty well on my skin. Now, as far as Nebras goes, I think that this treads in that very similar category. However, this is a little bit louder, a little bit brighter, and higher quality. Now, what I can say is that this definitely reminded me of a higher-end niche fragrance known as Xerjoff Lyra. Now, Lyra is also known as a very French pastry, cakey type of fragrance. The differences really being that this has a more prominent lemon, whereas this opens up with a mandarin, or an orange rather, and some berries. So if you were to take Lyra, I'm not saying that this is a dupe, but this quality almost trends towards this. So this is definitely steps above pink sugar and even Lattafa'S Khurafi. If you haven't watched that video review of Lattafa'S Khurafi, I'll put it up here somewhere. And back to this. So quality-wise, this is definitely 2 steps above Khurafi, but it is probably about double the price of it as well. This is 2 steps above from this. So main differences is there's a base sweetness here that's very pound cake-like, vanilla cake. And if you were to take away the lemon that's at the top, it's a nice, fresh, crisp lemon. So it's like a lemon pound cake. Minus that lemon, take the pound cake aspects of that vanilla, amplify it, really focus on that vanilla sweetness in the base here, and then just add a little bit of the orange and berries at the top of that fragrance. This is essentially what I get. Of course, like I said, this is a couple steps down in quality, but this gives me the same feeling, the same vibes, 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are interested or you enjoy Lyra, fragrances like Lyra, you will absolutely love Nebras. Nebras is phenomenal when it comes to the price point and what you're getting, when it comes to performance, when it comes to longevity, when it comes to even presentation. I mean, come on, let's be real here, guys. Look at this box. This is something similar to what Lyra comes in, and just for the sake of actually seeing what it comes like, there you go. So is there a resemblance? You tell me. You be the judge. So there's Xerjoff's Lyra, and here's Lattafa'S Nebras. So really high quality niche presentation stuff. This has absolutely made a fantastic wear. I wore it to the gym. I wore it everywhere. So with the longevity out of the way, probably 12 hours plus, does really good on clothes. With the sillage out of the way, as far as the scent profile, this I think is really delectable. It's edible. It's got cacao powder. It's got vanilla. It's got this frosting. It's really, really good. There is something that's a little bit missing. It doesn't really have a bite. So I think scent-wise, this is an 8.75 to a 9. And I say that because, like I said, it misses just a little bit of a bite. So as a layering fragrance, I don't generally layer my fragrances, but I know a lot of you do enjoy layering fragrances, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. But if you layer this with some combination of like Adonis Awakens or something that has a little bit of like a zest or a kick, a spice, I think it'll be phenomenal. Or even something like Nishane's Ani with that ginger kick and the added vanilla. I think this will be a really, really nice fragrance to layer. Or even an oud, something like as cheap as Safir al-Oud from Ard al-Za'faran would actually be fantastic. So that's what I think about the entire wearing. I want to get it on my skin just one last time here and really wrap it up. So let's see. Oh yeah. I mean, it is really, really potent stuff. This is absolute quality stuff. You're getting your money's worth with this for sure. And especially with that coupon code. I know at the time of making this video, it's sold out on tripletraders.com. If it remains sold out, reach out to me and I will definitely reach out to the owner of tripletraders.com and we can make it happen. And it's going to be coming back very soon. We also have that discount code Aromatics10, save 10% off those already the lowest prices, so you can't lose. This is really, really good, guys. I get something like a chocolate greedy from Montal there. Just in the back, you really have to kind of think about it. But you know what? Just out of curiosity, let me go ahead and maybe layer it with some Safir al-Oud. This is a first time for me. And let's see. Safir al Oud opens up with a lot of saffron. This is a fragrance. It is gorgeous, but you have to let it rest. You have to let it rest for a second. Otherwise, you will be gassed. So let's see. The saffron's a little bit too heavy. It didn't really blend that well with Nebras, but you get the idea. I think this will layer pretty well with a lot of other fragrances. And that's really all I have to say about Lattafa'S Nebras. A lot more Pride series fragrances coming, a lot of Maison Alhambra and all that good stuff. Niche fragrances as well. So stay tuned. Like I said earlier in the video, if you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. Click on those notification bells. I hope you enjoyed watching this video half as much as I did making it. Peace.